Hi everybody, welcome back. I am going to do a book review mashup, which you may have already seen several of these on my channel already. If not, and you're like, what's one of those? It's where I like to read books. I read physical books, I read Kindle books, and I really like audiobooks as well. And so when I've got a few I've read, I put them all together and do a review, because there's not always enough you can say about one book for a whole video, in my opinion. Maybe, I'm still new to booktubing and all that, so maybe there's not. So I've got a few books this time. So the first physical book, or the only physical book I'm reviewing or got for you this time, is this one. It is Sleigh Rides and Silver Bells at the Christmas Fair, and it's by Heidi Swain. And I will just read you the blurb on the back, because this is the only one that I can do that with, because I don't have those. When Anna takes on the role of companion to the owner of Winthorpe Hall on the outskirts of Windbridge, she has no idea that her life is set to change beyond all recognition. A confirmed bar humbug when it comes to Christmas, Anna is amazed to find herself quickly immersed in the eccentric household. And when youngest son Jamie unexpectedly arrives home, it soon becomes obvious that her personal feelings are going all out to compromise her professional persona. Jamie, struggling to come to terms with life back in the Fens, makes a pact with Anna. She has to teach him to fall back in love with Winthorpe Hall, while he helps her fall back in love for Christmas. By the way, I still have this cough and cold, so if I sound rubbish, that is why. So, I generally am not a big fan of they call it chick lit or romance novels, but I am slowly changing that perspective a little bit, and I am kind of I'm trying to read a wider range of things, and yeah, this one wasn't cheesy. I think that is the thing for me. I don't it's hard to articulate. I don't mind cheese when it's good cheese. Set myself off coughing. When it's a good cheese, like a mature cheddar, or, I don't like the romances where it's so predictable. I'm going to contradict myself now, because this is quite predictable, because obviously you could tell from the back that what's going to happen, falling in love with the Hall, falling in love with Christmas. Said most of you probably already read this, because when I posted a picture of it on my Instagram, so many people said that they loved this book. So you've probably already read it, because it's not a new book. I really enjoyed it, I have to say. It felt really cozy and relaxing. It was a very easy read. It wasn't gripping. So if you're looking for for me anyway, if you're looking for a real cliffhanger at chapter endings, or what's going to happen next, or anything like that, this isn't that. But if you are looking for a book that you can make a cup of tea, snuggle on the sofa, maybe have some jazz on in the background or something like that, roaring fire, whatever your thing is, and just have a really nice, feel-good, cozy read, then this is definitely one of those. As I said, it is a little bit cheesy, but nowhere near as cheesy as some other books in this genre that I have read. So much so that I've actually looked up some of Heidi Swain's other books, and I've put them on my wish list as well. So that's how much I kind of liked this, and how much I feel like I am sort of becoming a convert to this sort of genre. It's full of festiveness. It's not only set at Christmas, it is full of Christmas. So there's Christmas markets, there's wreath making, there's decorating the hall for Christmas, there's organising a Christmas market, all of that, that's what I really want from a book, a Christmassy book, is I want Christmas. I want Christmas from my Christmassy book, and this really delivered on that. And there was lots of nice description about the Christmassy markets and things, so much so that I ended up going on Google and looking for Christmas markets and Christmas craft fairs and things like that, because it kind of just really invoked that in me. That being said, she's a runner and she goes for a morning run, the main character, every morning. It didn't inspire me to start running. but it did inspire me to look at Christmas fairs and Christmas markets. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. No end. So the other 3 Christmas books, because I read other books as well at the same time, like, but the other 3 Christmas books, I listened to those. They were audio books. Well, The Hogfather by Terry Pratchett. There was a BBC dramatisation film many, many years ago that I watched of The Hogfather with David Jason in. And after I'd watched that film, I did actually buy the book, and I have read the physical copy of the book. But like many years ago, I can't even remember like how many years ago, like 10 plus, I don't know. And I was just scrolling through my Audible. I have an Audible subscription and I only have 1 credit a month to buy books, to buy a book. But I also have the Kindle Unlimited subscription. So, you know, can't be too greedy. And the Hogfather, the subscription, I get 1 credit a month, and then I can borrow, like from their borrow library, like different books. And I was scrolling through looking for Christmas, and Hogfather popped up, and I was like, oh yeah, I will listen to that again. I'll listen to that. I'm falling off the bed. Right. So I was like, yeah, I'll listen to that, you know. It was read by Tony Robinson, so like a real household name, really nice voice. I ended up being like, this is bonkers. This is absolutely bonkers. I obviously didn't remember it very well, but I was just like, this is absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it again. The Hogfather, I'm assuming that most of you probably know about it, but like, if you don't, then just gonna do a quick sort of overview. So Santa, Father Christmas goes missing. And the only other person who can travel between times and dimensions is Death. So Death dons Father Christmas's outfit and starts delivering presents. And so it's I do really like the story. And it is very festive. It's very sort of Victoriana kind of thing, like old-fashionedy. Really, I do really enjoy the story, but also quite bonkers. Quite bonkers, you know, because it also covers like the Tooth Fairy and other mythological figures and things. But yeah, I don't really know what to say. I did thoroughly enjoy it. I'll probably leave it there. And just say I enjoyed it. And like, if you've not heard of it, go and check it out, or the film or whatever. Okay, so the other one, there are two more. And what I will do is I will leave links to these below if I can find them. So the other one is Christmas Chronicles. Hi everybody. Outfit change, I know, not very good for continuity, but I got called away, so I couldn't complete that video. Right, so the next book that I wanted to talk about is The Christmas Chronicles by Tim Slover. Slover? It'll be down below. So, yes, this Christmas Chronicles is not to be confused with the Netflix movies, Christmas Chronicles. It is not that. It is not Nigel Slater's Christmas Chronicles, and it is not, I want to say, Jeff Gwynne's Christmas Chronicles. I have read all of the Jeff Gwynne Christmas Chronicles, which is like the autobiography of Santa Claus, How Mrs. Claus Saved Santa Claus, and I can't remember what the third one is. They're really good. I actually bought those in New York when we were on honeymoon, it was amazing. Sorry, a tangent, but I've got to tell you this. It was amazing. We landed in New York at the beginning of December, and it was all snowy and all Christmassy and all that. And we went to Macy's and Bloomingdale's and did all the Christmassy things. It was flipping amazing. And I saw those books in a bookstore, and I bought one. I bought the first one, and I started reading it while we were away. And then I was like, I'm loving this. I'm just going to go back and buy the other two, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to get those. So maybe I'll read them again, and perhaps I could do like a detailed like book review for you on those. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed those, if I remember rightly. But that was about 15 years ago now. Oh my gosh, yes. I think we got married in 2007. I think. Terrible. Anyhow, this Christmas Chronicles by Tim Slover, I came across it on Audible, and it'd actually been done by BYU Radio. So they'd made it into like a podcast, but actually what that means is basically each episode, I believe, to be a chapter. And all 8 episodes, chapters are up there. I don't know. I did really enjoy this story, and I'm very tempted to buy the book, because whilst I do really enjoy audiobooks, sometimes there is something to be said for reading it yourself and being immersed in the story. So trouble is, I have got so many books on my book wish list, you know. Not just Christmas books, other books. Too many books, so little time. So we'll see. You know, I have already read that one, so maybe something else will take more of a precedent. I don't know. Yeah, so as I said, I don't know whether the audio version is the same as the physical, you know, like the actual book. But it starts off with a chap who, his family are having a bit of a slump. I think it's struggling with the fact that he's got teenage sons now, and normally they all go together up into the mountains and collect pine for decorating the house and things, and they don't want to go, the teenagers. The wife's not really that keen, so he goes up on his own up to the mountains, and it's snowy. He goes further than he's ever been before. It's snowy. His car careens off the road into a ditch, and so he decides to walk more up the mountain to get a better signal for his mobile phone. And then the magic, and then a sleigh comes whizzing past with they call him Professor Wyatt, but I'm assuming he might be an elf, and a reindeer. They go whooshing past, and you know, off to their magical kingdom, their magical place. But in doing so, a book falls off of the sleigh, and he picks the book up. They disappear. He picks the book up, and he takes it home, and he reads the book, the Christmas Chronicles. And the Christmas Chronicles is basically detailing the history of Santa Claus, or Father Christmas, how he came to be, and all of that. The book does magically disappear, and a note gets left and said, like, sorry, we needed the book back, but don't worry, you will magically, you'll be able to remember everything that was in it. And it does say, please tell the world. So yeah, this is like the retelling. He said, this chap like tells the story of Santa Claus. So basically Santa Claus, I mean, we kind of all really know who he is. So I guess this isn't really a spoiler, but if you're worried that it might be a bit of a spoiler, then do sort of skip on past. But basically, you know, it turns out that he lost his parents to the Black Death, and his father was a carpenter. So the Guild of Carpenters took him in, looked after him, and he learnt how to be a carpenter via them. And then he grew up and made his own house and everything. And then the Black Death again swept across the village, and lots of people lost loved ones. And he felt bad, and so he kind of went down into the village and was like, I can't help bring anyone back, but, you know, is there anything I can do to help? And he started making furniture and things for people, because a lot of people had burnt their tables where their dying people had laid on their tables, so like they'd been burnt. So he started making tables for the villagers, and then he realised that actually the children were probably kind of the worst affected, and that the children, you know, they were having to work really hard, and so he decided to start carving toys. And then he started delivering the toys, and he met his wife, and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. But going along that, he has lots of difficulties along the way, because he has someone that he was at the guild with who was very jealous, very jealous of his talent and how nice he was and everything. And so he tries to like sabotage it at every and any possibility that he can. And yeah, so that is basically the story, and it goes on and on and on. So it's a really great story. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, like basically thoroughly enjoyed it. So really recommend it. And as I said, I think I might get a copy of the book. Okay, so the last book that I'm going to talk about in this video is Winter Dream. You see that that's what it looks like, the cover, but you can't sort of tell what it is really. But there we go. And it's by Chantal Gadori, and it is basically another reworking of the Nutcracker. I'm on a bit of a Nutcracker kick at the moment. It's a story that I do really like, and we tend to in our family read like the picture book a lot over Christmas, and we've done like art classes around Nutcracker, and we've done like tea parties, Nutcracker tea parties and things like that. So yeah, I'm on a bit of a Nutcracker thing at the moment. So if you remember in another video, I talked about Midnight in Everwood, the book, which I fell in love with so much. I've still got the hard copy cover of the book. I am not getting rid of that. I love it so much that I've also used one of my Audible credits and bought the Audible version of the book as well, because I love it so much. So I'll read you the blurb of this one. So, this Christmas Eve, no creature was stirring except maybe a mouse. At long last can true love break the Nutcracker's curse. For Clara Stahlbaum, this Christmas means the end of her youth. A daughter of the aristocracy, Clara is expected to give up her dreams of adventures and the extraordinary for more normal days as the wife of a cruel viscount. But when magical Uncle Drosselmeyer returns with his wondrous dancing contraptions and one special gift for Clara, she is beckoned to the land of Winter Dream, where she is thrust into the greatest adventure of her wildest dreams. But will she be able to break the Nutcracker's curse? Uncle Drosselmeyer's apprentice Anton is handsome as he is mysterious. But what is it about him Clara finds so alluring? So yeah, it's basically another retelling of the Nutcracker. But as it said, like Clara this time, rather than being a young girl, she is on the cusp of womanhood. And yeah, she's going to have to marry someone that she doesn't want to marry, which she is fighting. So it's quite interesting to see the book from a more adult Clara. And it's basically, there is a romance in there, but it's not a cheesy, sickly romance. It's predictable, I will give you that. But it's not a sickly, like, romance. It's really nice. Yeah, it's just really, I quite like that, the fact that like she's an adult and she's like trying to go against the grain of her class and her position. She's trying to break out of that. She wants to marry for love rather than for an arranged marriage. So that's really nice. It's got lots of descriptive language in there, which is lovely. And then as she enters the land of Winter Dream, which is where the Nutcracker is from. And yeah, they basically she has to kind of work out how to break the curse, the Nutcracker's curse, which is, yeah, really interesting. There's a couple of like twists in there that I didn't necessarily see coming. Not big ones, whatever, but it's quite interesting. And we do have the Mouse King in there as well. Although I think it was the Rat King. So we have all of the usual characters that we can expect. We've got the Nutcracker, we have Uncle Drosselmeyer, who isn't necessarily who you think he is, and we have the Mouse King. We don't really have any like ballet references in this one, which is interesting because like Midnight in Everwood had like loads of ballet references, whereas Winter Dream doesn't. But if you're a Nutcracker fan, I recommend this one too, because it was a really nice story, really nice read, and just a really good take on it. I've got loads of other Nutcracker books that I want to read, but you know, as I said, so many books, so little time. So I hope you've enjoyed my rambles talking about festive books and things, and I'm sure I'll be doing another video soon. Bye guys.